welcome back to Bookkeepers Bootcamp. Hi Jo, how are you?
I am good. I could not sleep last night. My brain was buzzing and I didn't sleep until nearly 1 a.m. But I think it's just what happens in boot camp. There's so much to think about.
What happens in Bootcamp? And today we're joined by Kathryn Vincent from Long White Cloud Accounting. Hi Kath, how are you?
Hi there. I'm good, thanks.
Good.
My
Have you been
heart's pumping
sleeping?
a little bit.
Oh, bless you.
Last night I slept well, and then when my son woke me up early morning at 5:30, I went back to sleep till 7:30.
Did you?
So, yep,
Do you know
I'm all
what?
rested.
I did that thing, Nikki Gundy said yesterday morning about like how we can tell our subconscious what time to wake ourselves up. I went to bed and I was like, right, I'm gonna like just sort of said to myself, I'd really like to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I was like, yeah, if I can get up, I got my sports things ready. So like go downstairs. Anyway, my son walked in at 5:15. I wasn't awake and he just trotted in and I just got him into bed. So a normal alarm. So I don't think that works.
Some other people in the community said they tried it and it worked. So I don't know. I think maybe a bit of practice.
Yeah, it's worked for me for years. I've always been able to do that. It's like my brain keeps the time when I'm asleep and it's spot on. It's amazing.
Oh, you are so special. That's amazing.
We're so excited to talk to you, Kath, because you are one of the people who shows up everything we do. When like if you've been part of bootcamp this week, you will have seen Kath on every single session commenting away. If we do a session with our community, Kath is there. Like I always know you're going to be there. And I love that. Like you've really just gone like, I'm just getting involved. I'm being part of this. I'm going to be here for everything. And we love it. And thank you so much because it's so nice. I feel like we get to know the people who come along all the time. And I feel like we know you well. But today we're going to talk about your business because I think you've been on a really great, exciting journey over the last year or two, I guess.
1 year.
Just a year.
Yep, 1 year. 1 year last month.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Right. Well, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about your business and your background before you started the business?
Yeah, so before the business, I was basically an accountant. Never quite got to chartered or certified level. Nearly there a couple of times with in New Zealand and with ACCA, but was always an AAT qualified accountant. And I was working. My background is mainly in management accounts. So then I had children. And I went back to work part-time in school hours. I got a job at a CA firm, local one in school hours. I did not like that. Didn't even last a year. And then I went out and got a part-time job in school hours again, really flexible. And then another friend asked me to help her in her business, and I got another part-time job. And then, eventually I came around to thinking, I want a third part-time job, and I found you guys, and then I realized that I could set up on my own instead of being employed. So yeah, and then that was about a year ago.
Wow. So okay, tell us about so you was working in this part-time job. I mean, what was the real driver that made you think, other than just listening to us all the time, but what was the main drive where you thought, I want my own business. I don't want to be working for someone else?
Well, I didn't actually realize I could ever do that. I thought I had to be a chartered accountant, so I didn't know it was a possibility. And when I realized it was, I think maybe it was in the back of my head anyway for a few years, wanting to do that because, I like flexibility. I've got quite young kids and I like to be able to put out the washing, be at home and put out the washing if it's sunny. I'm a big washing fan. And I just, I have my own hospital appointments. I have kids appointments. I have school runs. I have school holidays. So I always, since having kids, that's the number one thing is flexibility for me. So if I'm running my own business, I get to say what hours I work, and that's it really. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And you join us sometimes on our accountability calls on a Friday morning and you'll be like, I'm in the garden, I've just put my washing out. I love like it's real life. Like we've all got the washing machine going, I'm sure. It's like it's what you kind of got to do to keep a house going, and it's just modern life. Yeah, love it. So how many clients have you got at the moment, Kath? How have you built those clients up?
I have got 2 clients still, and I've nearly jumped to 3. I have had lots of inquiries and kind of discovery calls, and I have proposed to people a few times, but I'm being really picky about who I'm taking because I'm sticking to my niche quite a lot. So those 2 existing clients are actually my 2 old part-time jobs still. And what I've done is I've taken them because they weren't many hours I was getting paid for, and I've expanded my services for them. So now I'm giving them everything that I can offer, and yeah, their fees have gone up and up and up and up every time I do a review. So that's been enough for a while, and now I'm kind of ready for that 3rd client because my clients tend to be quite big. I do quite a lot for them. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be a bit nosy here.
Yeah.
But I know you won't mind. So the clients, so you had one part-time job, then another part-time job, and now you're doing both of those part-time jobs in your business around the washing and the children. Are you earning the same amount of money that you would have from one of those jobs?
Oh, no. So I think I was being paid £25 an hour employed. And when I set up my business, I thought, okay, I'll charge them £25 an hour. But thank goodness I discovered Go Proposal. And some other members, actually Penny Allard of Wild Bookkeeping, she put me on the straight and narrow straight away. I said, I can't afford the fee. I've only got 2 clients. And she said, well, if you don't get Go Proposal and get more clients and get it, then I'll just take them, Other people would just take them, and it's completely worth it. And so I took the leap, and what I've done is every 3 months I review those people, and every 3 months, because they're expanding businesses, they're really successful, they've got ambitious owners, every 3 months they grow. So my fees grow with them. And now I think actually I've just done another one. So before, my average monthly fee was over $1,500, and now it's quite a lot more than that. And actually on my booking form that my VA's done, I've put that are you aware my minimum monthly fee is £500? So I don't want to waste time with people who think I'm going to charge them £100 a month, So yeah, it's going good on the fee side, and these 2 clients are enough because I do a lot for them. I'm into management information and everything now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. And so I'm guessing your clients are quite receptive to that. So you've done, I think, being able to go out there and say, hey, this is what I can do for you if you will let me work at that level. You've been great at being able to do that, and maybe some other bookkeepers in the community might not have the confidence to do that. So what advice would you have to people who are thinking or just don't know how to have that kind of conversation with the client?
Well, it depends who your clients are. If they are looking to sell in the future, say, or if they are looking to grow or get funding or anything, then they need proper management accounts. And actually, I no longer work with clients who aren't going to go that distance and get the management information, because you can do the bookkeeping, but you won't, you'll probably look at your bank account balance and just look at the cash, and you won't be aware of what your tax liabilities are, or you won't know actually how much each, say you've got 4 main products, what's the profitability on each of those, and is product A bringing 50% of your income, and you should be focusing on that. I mean, yeah, I don't believe in letting business owners go now without having that information and that clear information coming back off all these figures we put all our time into. You may as well use them, use the data.
So you really seem to have got kind of a niche around your services. Are the companies in the same industry, or is it a case that it's like, I want to serve this kind of size of client that requires this kind of information, that is growing and doing this? Is that more your niche, or is it industry as well?
I'm not focused on industry quite yet, but I can see I might go into that. So at the moment, yes, it's ambitious and established limited companies who are VAT registered, and it's not just that they're turning over the 85K, it's that they're about half a million already. So yeah, I'm really targeting 500,000 to 4 million turnover kind of thing. Yeah.
Have you thought about where those clients are? So when you, like, for future marketing, what's the plan to reach more people like that?
Well, I live in quite a good area for that. So I'm down in Greater London, in Sutton. So there's lots of businesses around. And I do want to have the local focus, because I do like to pop in and talk them through their reports. And they really appreciate that. Because they, they're not used to that really all the time. So I really focus on high touch points. And lately, actually, I've been giving the local schools gift vouchers. So I can't, when they have a summer raffle or a fair, I can't say I'll donate some of my services or my time, because I'm not going to set up a letter of engagement and all that. So I say, do you want a £50 M&S voucher? That's quite generic. Everybody likes a bit of M&S. So I donate that, and then they put me on their social media and say, thanks so much to Long White Cloud Accounting, and talk to Kath if you run a company and you've got bookkeeping headaches and things. So that gets me in the local area, and the reach on those school fairs and things is huge, because the schools around here are quite big. They have 3 classes per year and things like that. So I think that will work well. And I've been to local networking events, which is where I've got a few leads and things. I don't think I'll really have a problem, because I know so many people around here, and they know so many people around here as well. And there'll be somebody, and I'm not desperate for clients, I'm quite happy, but one day somebody will say my name, kind of thing, and have me in mind. And that's what I'm after, really.
Yeah, the right person will find you. So you've got these 2 clients, you're charging really well. Are they taking up, like, what does your working week look like? Someone just said, how long does it take you to, like, work on these clients? Is there ebbs and flows in your workflow? Are you working 5 days a week or not? Or is it just school hours? What's it look like for you?
It's very random. I just work when I feel like it and when I want to. And initially I started off doing all the work myself, but I quickly realized that wasn't really going to, help me in the long term. And actually that's not what I want to be doing. I quite like getting out there and meeting new people, and I think I enjoy selling and educating people on the benefits. So I don't sit there and track my hours, and I don't have set hours. I mean, my week is so random. I've got school activities, I've got other commitments. And that way I can join you guys whenever you have a Success Lounge event and all that stuff. So yeah, there is quite a lot of work going on, but I do have 3 subcontractors working for me at the moment, and they do a lot of the day-to-day work. But it's very new, so I oversee quite a lot at the moment, but I'm really glad I've made a start on that kind of format. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited, because what you're doing is you're getting the business ready for it to grow without you being the doer of everything. So, when you said about having this sort of average client fee of £1,500, let's say, and if you've got 2 clients paying those, if you were charging that £25 an hour, that seems to be this golden number that everyone's talking about. And actually, Jo and I are talking at 9 o'clock tonight. We're doing a session about pricing in the 6 Figure Bookkeepers Club. So come along to that, because we'll be talking about our pricing survey that we ran in May. And then we'll challenge whether £25 is the real number. But anyway, if you were charging £25 an hour, to be able to charge £1,500, you'd have to be doing 60 hours of work every month. So if you're doing 60 hours times 2, it's 120 hours. That's 30 hours a week sat at your desk working for your client. You're clearly not doing that.
No.
Like, you're clearly showing what the value is, like what you can do when you bring other people in to be earning what you need to earn. So it's really interesting to set your business up like that, to give you the lifestyle that you want, decent amount of earnings, and being able to bring the team in so you can find those clients without the pressure, bring them in when they're ready and they're the right people, and then that helps you just overseeing a bit more work. So
yeah, that's so important to me, to wait for the right client, because I've heard stories, and I know of others who have proper problems, you know, by rushing and thinking, oh my gosh, I better just take anybody. And also, you know, not having a choice really. And in the beginning, if I was charging £25 an hour, and in the beginning I did not have HubDoc or Dext or anything, and I was actually keying in the invoice number and amount and code. So that would take me a lot of hours, wouldn't it? So I will be charging £25 times 20 hours a week to do purchase invoice entering. And then I moved to HubDoc, which wasn't so good. And now I'm on Dext, which is amazing. And, you know, they automatically go into Dext, or you just forward the email. You get the client to forward the email into Dext, so they're there for you, right? And then you can have a bookkeeper doing that. I don't need to do it, to put in, make sure the amounts are correct, the codes are correct, and make sure the VAT is correct, and then publish it to zero. So you go from spending 10 hours a week at £25 an hour processing purchase invoices to somebody doing it for a lower rate, maybe. I don't know, how many hours would that be? 3 or 4 maybe? So it would be ridiculous to lose out on all that money, wouldn't it? Just because now you're charging your client 4 hours a week because you're using the right software and you've changed your processes and you've become so much more efficient. It just is not funny. I mean, and that was only a year ago. So I'm quite proud of that. I have changed a lot of things over the past year, and I've learned a lot from you guys. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
This is music to our ears, Kath. Absolutely. So what is the goal maybe for, I mean, you've achieved so much in a year. I just love, I mean, you're so typical, like, New Zealander. I mean, you just sound so chilled. Like, it's so funny. You're just like, yeah, that's just how it is. That's how it is. And I'm waiting for the nice next client to come. They'll come. You're just like zen, aren't you? So, but I know you do have goals. So what are the goals? I mean, is it a case that this is working now with the children at the age that they are, and then maybe there'll be something else when they, you know, they only need you for taxi rides like mine at the moment? Or is it a case that you've got a plan for this year and you've got another goal? Or, you know, talk us through it.
I don't have a list of goals. I do have a vision board behind me. I've written notes so far. Next is about getting the pictures, because I'm a visual person. If I have the pictures, it will make much more sense to me. So, you know, it's about only working school hours, and I've got a big thing on the whiteboard. It says systemize to scale. So I need to systemize. I need to systemize the heck out of everything, because I'm a software tech person. I love systems and software, and that will allow me to scale. So, you know, I shouldn't really be working in the business very much at all. And if that will take 1 year or 5 years, then that's okay, because I'm in this business for the long term. I don't have any hard deadlines, you know. Yeah.
How's so in terms of bringing your subcontractors in that you're working with at the moment, so you said you've got 3 subcontractors. Do they do different parts of the work, or are they sort of interchangeable based on their availability?
They do different parts. So VA or admin things like social media and blogs and website and anything admin. And then an accountant who does lots of Excel work for me, because she's really good at Excel, and focusing on management accounting. So pulling together reports, making them look good and updating them. And then my most recent one is more of bookkeeper level. So I started her on Dext processing, and then we'll move her on to bank recs. I'm taking Jo's kind of example. So start them, make sure the purchase invoicing is good, and then bump them up a level to the bank recs. And then, you know, depending on how they go, I'm not structured in that way. I'll go with the person and their strengths, and I'll go at their speed, so that it gives me the best result and they're happy as well. So yeah, I'm a flexible, adaptable person. I think that really makes a difference.
Yeah, and you've obviously had to systemize parts of the business already to be able to hand that over. So how did you find, so when you were in this sort of, I guess, sorry, lots of thoughts in my head, you know, when you were saying about how you used to key in all of the data and then you moved over eventually to Dex, which would have given you a lot of time back, did you then at that point decide to systemize it, or was it when you were bringing that person in, you were like, right, I really need to have a process right now so that this person knows exactly what to do? And did you write that process ahead of them coming in, or did you work on it while you were onboarding them? I'm just wondering how you manage that around doing the work, because I think sometimes that's a real pinch point for people. They're like, I'm so busy and I need someone, but I haven't got the systems, and I also haven't got time to write the systems, and I don't know what to do. So I just wonder how you managed. You probably were much more zen about it than I just demonstrated.
Yeah, I had that exact conversation with somebody last week that you've just said. It's like, how am I ever going to stop and have the time to set up the systems? And I said, well, you know, you just squeeze it in and you just move some things around, because spending 3 or 4 hours now is going to be like astronomical for the future. Like, you'll never move if you don't you'll never move forward to outsourcing and delegating things if you don't stop and systemize something. So I think one day I just had enough, and you know, these people, somebody wanted to work with me, so they approached me, and I was thinking about getting somebody. So that was probably the catalyst to say, right, this person, I know them, I know they're really good, I know they're well qualified, you know, they're a nice person, they're great, I do want them to work with me. Now is the time where I have to stop and push other things aside that aren't urgent, that don't have deadlines, that aren't really important, which is basically everything for me, and sit down and write some post-it notes. I have post-it notes everywhere, and then it's a rainbow, it's crazy, and say, right, write some notes about what is the number one most simple thing for this one client. So start with one client. What's their biggest supplier, and are they all treated the same? Well, yes, they are. So do one Loom video for less than 5 minutes on that, and that is the one task that you start off with. And then once you get started, well, for me anyway, it just started flowing, and I'm like, yes, this is what I've wanted to do for like 6 months, and this is it, and let's go, you know. And I just keep pushing ahead, and it's working well, actually. Yeah,
I think systems is one of those things that the thought of it is just petrifying and fills us with procrastination. But actually, like you said, then if you just give yourself 5-minute videos at a time, it's really liberating. I actually really enjoy them when I do it. And another thing, like something that I've learned over time, is to get, when you've got a systemized video, when you've got one of your members of staff that's really got the hang of it, get them to do a new version of that video, because they will add something that they will add everything that you've put in there, but where they're at a different stage and not the business owner, they will think of other things to put in there. And we've definitely noticed that with Daniel being, you know, when he started with us being at 18, not knowing, and he says sometimes, you say that, but I don't get what that means, and then he says it in another way, and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense, like simplifying it. So he can then help us build systems for the future. And just as a top tip as well, what we've done is the Dex thing to the bank rec is really good. The next step we found works really well is wages journals. Wages journals is the next one once they've got the bank rec, and then after that, accruals and prepayments. Mm-hmm. So like, I've got the 19-year-old is doing all of that now. So
that's really good, because that's the bulk of the work, isn't it? I mean, that's where you want to get to.
Absolutely. And it just seems to work well when you introduce, once they've got the bank reconciliation, they're keeping on top of all of that, introducing that wages journals on a monthly basis is just like, it releases so much time and energy, and so much easier to do your month-end checks and things once the journals are done. So that would be my next, because I haven't really spoken about what he's done afterwards. He does extra stuff now, so it's as you've already got those people and those things. So are you looking at because obviously having 3 people is going to eat into your profit margins, and do they have, because they're subcontractors, do they have capacity to take on more for you? And this is the thing, isn't it, the difference between subcontractors and employees and things like that. You know, the thing is, you can have a conversation. I suppose if a job come in, you could speak to your subcontractors and have the conversation, see if they had the availability. But because you've split it over 3, I think you've got like a really good basis. Like I started, I had the 1, and I did feel at the time that person felt that they could make or break my business. That's how I felt it, because I was like, I wasn't doing the bookkeeping, they were. So I much prefer having a bigger team, because it kind of, segregation. I could not say that word. Segregation of duties. It means that not one person's got that full control, because I think that's something really important as a business owner. Not that you're trying to keep all the control. I definitely don't want to get involved, but I don't want one person to be poorly or something and the whole thing fall apart. So I like the idea that you've got 3. Did you do that consciously?
No, it's just the different skills they had. And actually, at the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, like, I know that they're good people and their skills are in demand. And when they have their own because they've got their own practice, they're going to get their own clients and get too busy. So I make a point of keeping in touch with them about their future plans and their capacity, so that I have as much lead time as I need. If they say to me, I can't do any more hours, or actually I'm not doing subcontracting anymore because I've got my own clients and they're going to take up all my time. And of course, for them, they should have their own clients and work directly with them, because that's the point they're trying to get to, and subcontracting might be a stepping stone to learning more, to increase confidence, to, I don't know, to get cash in the short term. But it's not, I don't think it's the, I'm not sure it would last for 5 years. So yeah, but then I keep thinking about employing somebody, but I might visit that in another year, I think.
It's fair enough. Do you think, like, could it work by having a few different subcontractors that you can use interchangeably? And I suppose that's going to come down to getting to that point where you have documented everything process-wise. And also the other thought I've got is, does that mean that for when you're looking for your future clients and deciding whether someone is the right client, that you need to look at people who are using or happy to use the same systems, so you can have a more generic process? Would that work for you as you grow your business?
Well, they definitely need to use Dext and Xero, and those are the 2 main ones, aren't they? And then at the moment we're just using Excel for management accounts. But definitely that's how I niche as well. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. They have to pay for the, I recharge the Dext, Dext Prepare subscription. So they pay me for that, and they have to be set up on their own Xero, because, they've been running for years. So either I change them over at the first day of the new financial year and convert them and everything. Otherwise, they're already on Xero. And what else is there? I think that's it that they use, Xero and Dext, from the client's point of view. And that's what my subcontractors use mainly. So, that's already set out. I mean, I wouldn't bother and waste my time trying to do another system. Yeah.
I love the fact that, we do talk about niching a lot, and we've talk about ideal client a lot, and you really have got that, but without the industry. And I think it's just so important to get that across, that yes, industry can be an important factor, but it's not the be all and end all when we're talking about ideal client and niching. It is so obvious that you have a certain type of ideal client and a niche, but it's nothing to do with industry. So I think that's just really exciting. I also think it's exciting if you want to serve an industry, that's absolutely fine, but there are so many ways. I love that, like, one of your niches is like, they have to pay me a lot of money. It's just like that is just one of the non-negotiables. You're just so cool. So I've got a question here. What do you feel is unique about your business, and how do you portray your expertise, like, when you speak to new potential clients, or when you're doing that advertising, or how you, obviously you've worked with these ones in the past, but how are you going to get that across? What's different about your business?
Yeah, well, I think I try to get it across on social media and on my website and things. I think I say things like, I've been an accountant for over 20 years, and I'm really into systems, and I'm certified and qualified with these people. And when I start talking to people, so I do talk to people quite a lot. I must have had quite a few leads and prospects, but because I'm so picky, I, do them off. So I say things like, I work in this way, and I want to really bring you the value that you're looking for. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm really expensive, but they get to the point where they're saying, I don't care how much you cost. When can you start working for me and tidying this up and meeting with me? So I concentrate on, I'm going to be really like high touch. I'll have a lot of touch points with you. I'm going to be in your business every week, and I really want to have this company as me or anybody, but mainly me, going in every month and sitting down with them and sitting in their business, because I've been sitting in lots of people's businesses and going through this, and you learn so much from sitting there and seeing what happens and meeting the staff and listening and getting the feel and the vibe. And the majority of people I'm working with now and prospects are in the local community, like a local village, and there's a high street, and they're well-known, like established businesses that have got a good reputation. So yeah, I want to help them because I wouldn't otherwise. There's a few that don't and things, so I don't go near them. But what was the question? I totally forgotten.
Oh no, I think you answered it. It was about what's your unique, what's unique about your business and everything, and it's you. I mean, and that does tend to be the fact with lots of the practices, is that you bring something different than it. I mean, you're from New Zealand as well. That is pretty epic. You've got a different outlook on things. You do. You just, when listening to you, it's everyone. All of the bookkeepers that we listened to this week, you might think, but they run a bookkeeping practice, but you don't. You run such different practices with such different views, and the purpose of setting up was so different, and the clients you want to serve are so different. So it's just really nice.
I mean, I could just talk about that question for another hour, but two more points in summary. Like, I don't say I'm going to reconcile your bank and things. I say I'm going to make it so that you don't have to worry about your VAT return getting in time. And I'm going to meet with you every month to let you know what's happening and any problems, and give you an accounts payable list, because so many people don't worry about that. They just reconcile the bank without looking at the current accounts payable. They just leave it, and things double up and statements go in and they just leave it. And I was talking to my builder this morning, and he's not happy, and I had to say to him, I do not do CIS. And he's like, why don't you do CIS? And he asked me 4 times in 4 different ways whether I would do CIS just for him. So, because he's not happy. He can't get through to his accountant, and his bookkeeper never rings him back. So I pride myself on being right there with them. I say, I want to be your trusted business partner. I don't know how that sounds, but it's worked for me lately. And I'm right there with them in their business, and I listen to their crap, on the phone, and all their worries and all their problems about getting staff. And anyway, I think they appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Here's a question. You said you're really picky. What do you do when you're having a call with somebody and you're like, they are not for me? How do you basically say no?
I'm quite easily. Probably the first time I felt a little bit uncomfortable, but then I'm like, so people will come through on the form, Calendly form, and they'll say, yes, I know you charge at least £500. I am a limited company. I am VAT registered. But one of them came through and I talked to her, and it turns out, well, they were a registered charity who were a limited company. And I say, oh, okay, thanks for that information. So just to stop you there, I don't actually deal with charities. I don't deal with them. I don't know anything about them. So I'm going to get you somebody who does deal with charities and refer you on. And she was like, at the end of the call, when I'd said good luck and everything, she's like, oh, thank you so much for being up front, because I don't want to waste any more of your time, and I need to get somebody quickly. And she was so appreciative that I just, stopped it there. And it's really easy to say no, because if their turnover is only 300,000 or 200,000, then they're not going to be willing to pay me what I'm going to charge them and things. So I'm just straight up. I mean, I don't want to waste my time, you know. I've got other stuff to do.
You got washing to put on. That's what you got to do.
Oh, I love having the sheets and the towels all done.
I love this.
Yeah.
So, okay, before we wrap up, I just want to ask a question about, because you're a year into your practice, what advice or top tips would you give to somebody that was about to start a practice themselves? What would you say is like a golden nugget for them?
Well, I think one of my first pieces of software was Go Proposal, and that had the pricing and the letter of engagement because I paid for Oversuite. So I was stressing out about getting this letter of engagement, trying to use the professional body templates and getting nowhere. But what really helped me was the startup program, because being in industry, I think it was, I don't know, say 20 years in industry, and not really knowing anything about practice, and definitely not knowing about, I don't know, what all the registrations you needed. That was like, I thought I was in heaven with all the information. I just absorbed it as quick as I could, and then I went over it, and then I went over it again, and I've still got the notes. Because I didn't want to commit to the success program because I knew what that was, and that was too expensive for me, or so I thought. So I did the startup program first, and without that, I would have been still here, stressing about not charging, I don't know, only a small percentage of what I charge, and not offering all the services I do, and nowhere near. I'd probably be sitting there processing invoices still, So.
I was just going to ask, so what made you decide, so you did the startup program, which you can buy it, that comes as a bundle with the success program, which we will talk about later. But what made you decide that you could afford it then? I'm just intrigued by what happened in your mindset.
Well, I just got so addicted to you guys and all the learning and all the teachings, and I just was like, oh my God, I need more of this, because this is exactly my thing. Because, I've done lots of study and stuff and degrees and everything, but I haven't had the practical business development knowledge for starting up my own business. That's what was missing. And starting up my own bookkeeping business, And then I heard people talking about the Success Lounge and everything. So then I don't think I even thought about the money, I just thought, whatever it costs, I'm in there. And I'm still in there, because, after the 6 months you pay to stay in there, and I'll be in there forever, So I just love it. I mean, yeah, there's just nothing like it on earth. And it's actually life-changing, not just for the business. I'm like, the confidence levels, I was pretty confident, but now I'm super confident. Yeah, everything.
Oh, thanks, Kath. I think Jo and I are both going to start crying in a minute. Thank you. Like Jo said, we will be talking about the 6-month success program later on this evening. So if you join us at 8 o'clock, we'll be able to tell you about we'll have some special offers. So come and join us tonight and we'll tell you all about that. Also, Kath mentioned Go Proposal, who've been sponsoring Bookkeepers Bootcamp this week. And we have got an amazing discount on Go Proposal software. So if you're new, you can get 30 days for free, and then you can get 2 discounted months after that, 50% off, isn't it, for the next 2 months after that. So there's a link on the screen, or if you're listening to this, if you go to bit.ly/6FBGP in capital letters, we'll put it in the show notes as well, then you can go and have a look at that. Kath, thank you so much for today. Do you know what? There was this great comment that came up from Tina, and I'm just going to put it on the screen. Tina says, Kath, you are business and boss goals. And I think she's just like summed up everything from this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks.
And how can people connect with you and find out more about you, Kath?
Instagram and Facebook is LWC Accounting. So look for that. And then LinkedIn is Kathryn Vincent. So yeah.
You're going to have lots of new connections on. I was going to try and share it on the screen. LWC for Long White Cloud Accounting.
That's it. Bit long, but yeah. Always looking for new connections. Bring them on. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much, Kath. And later on, we are back at 8 p.m. for a mammoth session. I think Zoe said, bring along your takeaway, bring along your drink, maybe a thermos flask of tea, that come along. So 8 p.m. we're starting to give you the final part of our RISE framework. You're going to find out what E is in the RISE framework, and we're going to be teaching you that. We're going to also be telling you all about what is in our Success Lounge membership and the 6-month success program. And then at 9 p.m. we have a bonus pricing workshop where we're going to be telling you more about what we found out when we did our pricing survey, and just give you some nuggets from that survey, and get your mindset right around pricing. So really looking forward to seeing you all later. Thank you so much, Kath. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. See you all later.
Thanks.
Bye.